Hi, everyone. My name is Maya Simek, and I am the Legal Director at Equality Ohio. And I am so excited to be here to tell you a little bit about who I am and how I move through the world. So essentially, I am a social worker and an attorney, and I find that to be a pretty interesting combination of professions because I believe that it shapes how we work in the legal clinic and what we pay attention to, as well as what's important to us. And so I had gone to social work school and I got my master's degree, and then I went to law school. And my hope was to fuse them both together in a practice that allowed us to pay attention to people's lived experiences in addition to removing legal barriers. And that translated into a couple of different experiences around the way. I've had the amazing opportunity to work with several different organizations, ranging from an HIV servicing individuals for people who were living with HIV and AIDS, who were receiving case management. And I got the privilege of starting a law clinic for people who lived with HIV and AIDS in Cleveland, Ohio at the Nueva Luz Urban Resource Center. And that was amazing. I got the opportunity to work as the program director for the LGBT Center of Greater Cleveland. And I've gotten to do really cool work at some really amazing law schools in Ohio at Cleveland Marshall College of Law and at Case Western Reserve University School of Law. And at Case Western, most recently, I have been able to work at providing services for human trafficking survivors, both sex and labor, as well as individuals who are at risk for human trafficking. And I believe the fusion of these experiences have allowed me to walk into Equality Ohio and do what I do today, which is, again, providing services for folks that are coming from backgrounds with a lot of trauma, trying to attend sensitively to where people are, trying to understand what other needs need to be addressed and met so that we can focus on the whole person, and trying to kind of just make sure that we are in the places where people have been overlooked or not provided services or not seen, right? And making sure we stay curious and keep asking the questions. And I think that's helpful for us around where we are, but more importantly, also perhaps where we are not and where we should be, and how we can be more responsive to the community in ways that are meaningful and show up. So those are the questions that I think about all the time. And so you might ask yourself, so like, what's a legal director and what do you even do, Maya? And I'm like, that's a fair question, folks. And so I essentially, I have the honor of working with our legal team most regularly. And with our legal team, we are reviewing conflicts and making sure that we have case strategies around some of our tricky cases across the state. I'm working with the individual attorneys on kind of their case plans, what they're doing, what's going on in the community. We're all working together as a team about information that we want out in the world, materials, how to create CLEs, how to design a next clinic that we should show up at, or make sure that we are providing access, how we are defining outreach, where we are coming, what it looks like, and how we are also responding to the changes in law as they are happening, and being responsive and getting our messaging out in different creative areas like this to make sure that people know how to access the legal clinic, and to show folks that we're not necessarily the lawyers that you think of when you close your eyes and envision what a lawyer is. And so it's a little bit of a potpourri, right? So I do a little bit of all of those things. And, basically I just hang out with really cool folks and ask them to be smart and see how I can stand with and support them in the best way possible. We also work every week with the field team. And so the field team is integral because they are the team that's on the ground and figuring out the pulse of the community, figuring out what ordinances are happening at city councils, figuring out how to be supportive and where to plug in at what event. And so our field and our legal teams come together in order to help show support for one another, provide training and that meso level sphere that allows us to keep getting information out and making it accessible and understandable to everyone. And helping to make sure that the problems we're hearing with our legal cases are translated appropriately to the field team, so then we can make sure that we're advocating and showing up in legislative spaces in a way that's, again, responsive to how our community members are being impacted, as well as making sure that we are giving space for voice for the folks to tell their stories when it's appropriate. So that's kind of what it looks like for us in our day-to-day. People often ask me, what does a typical day look like? And I say, there's no typical day at Equality Ohio ever. we always think we're going to show up and do a thing or a project or write a grant or do something, and then the world happens and we have to pivot. So we are, I like to call us, we are a Swiss Army knife organization in terms of we show up with some of the skill sets and tools that you never necessarily knew you thought you were going to need as an attorney. And then it turns out you do. And so we like to make sure that we are all responsive and able to be accommodating and use some of the skill sets we learned on our way here. So some of my favorite questions for people when they're interviewing is I like to see if they ever worked in retail or if they ever worked as a bartender, right? Because if you have the skill sets to deal with a cranky shopper during a holiday season, or to like be behind the bar or serving food to people during a time when it's like a rush hour, you're my kind of person for this kind of job, because I know you can handle it under pressure, right? So I always ask people what it looks like, because we have a team full of really brilliant candidates who can still pull out some of these really resourceful, creative plans to addressing legal needs that are not the way you would necessarily see it done in other spaces. That I think is just incredible. You got to meet these humans. If you have not met your local area attorney or your local area field organizer, do yourself a favor and meet them, because they are rad. I think that's about the long and the short of me, but I openly encourage you to reach out if there's any way we can be supportive. We'd love to show up and do Know Your Rights training on a topic of your choice in the area that is appropriate to you. Churches, community spaces, small independent parties. we are here for it, and we would love to be able to help provide access to services. So if you have something you're interested in, let us know. If you are an attorney and you are able to come in to join our attorney referral network, that would be fantastic. We are constantly looking for people across the state who are attorneys, who are willing to be a part of our network of referral, that know how to be sensitive around areas of identity with the LGBTQ community. Do you know how to stand with someone and use their pronouns correctly? And are you interested in just showing support in a visual way to let people know that they're not alone, even if you can't take a pro bono case? That is so important, and we'd really value being able to have you as a part of our network. If you're a non-attorney and let's say you provide really awesome snazzy services in the community, and they're LGBTQ sensitive and appropriate and culturally humble, I want to know about you. Let us know how we can add you to our referral list and make a partnership together that's collaborative and meaningful, so that we can help folks and make sure that everyone's on the same page in the area, so that we all know about each other and know how to refer. If you're someone who says, I don't fit any of those things, but you want to get involved, reach out, let me know. I am sure there is a place in Equality Ohio for you to volunteer and get involved with. And in addition, if you say, I don't have time, but I have talent or treasure, we absolutely are always looking for folks to add to our board, and we are always looking for folks that just want to support financially. So, we will absolutely accept talent and treasure as well. So there are so many ways to plug in for you. And if you want to reach out to me and go over any of those options, I would love to hear from you. We also, of course, have some pretty amazing internships. We have fellowships. And if we do have any available job postings, they're always listed on our amazing equalityohio.org website. So thank you so much for your time. I sincerely look forward to working with you all, and I hope you have a great day.
Happy Pride, everyone! I'm Siobhan Boyd Nelson, she, her pronouns, from Equality, Ohio. For Pride Month, we are celebrating by uploading a new video to YouTube every weekday for the entire month. If you would like to support Equality Ohio, like, subscribe, or share this video. Or to support us directly, you can donate at equalityohio.org. Thanks and happy Pride Month.